Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories that you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. It's a lot to get through, so let's get cracking. Story number 1, the federal government is hoping to deliver a budget surplus this year, but falling commodity prices, particularly iron ore, and a weaker jobs market is going to put pressure on the bottom line.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers yesterday said the days of windfall revenue from commodities were coming to an end, and the $69 billion in extra revenue forecast in the December budget update will now be much less. He warned that the government will be looking for ways to save money, though there will be some in the kitty for a bit of extra spending. Now, the first couple of budgets of this government have benefited from more than $100 billion in revenue upgrades. However, iron ore prices have fallen back. We're not going to get that this time around. Also, because unemployment has risen, income tax receipts are down, but welfare payments are higher. Put that together and that hurts the bottom line as well. Dr. Chalmers said the government's thinking more about growth rather than solely focusing on inflation, though he did say you can't ring the bell yet on higher prices. So there's likely to be just a few new spending initiatives, but not too much.
Any idea at this point what those spending initiatives might be? I'm asking hopefully, clearly.
Well, he wasn't giving much away yesterday. Chalmers said there'll likely be additional cost of living help in the budget, but it won't be anywhere near the magnitude of the tax cuts that kick in on 1 July. Chalmers said any extra money will be targeted, responsible and affordable. He said the May budget, though, will focus on investment to secure long-term growth. Be interesting to see what all that means, Michael.
All right, on to story number 2 now. In a sign of the thawing of relations between Beijing and Canberra, China's top diplomat, Foreign Minister Wang Yi, will visit Australia next week.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said significant progress has been made in recent months to remove trade impediments with China, including an interim ruling this week to drop excessive wine tariffs. Albanese said that having a dialogue with China is a good thing. Now, Foreign Minister Penny Wong is expected to meet Foreign Minister Wang Yi next week, next Wednesday. In fact, they're expected to talk about consular matters, trade impediments, human rights, conflict prevention and regional security during the talks. An interesting fly in the ointment is that the US, over the past 36 hours, the House of Reps passed a bill which would force the Chinese owners of TikTok to sell or have the app banned in the US. Albanese's been asked about that. He said it's not going to happen in Australia, though it will be an added tension in the talks next week.
Yeah, sure will. Story number 3, Facebook owner Meta says it sends $115 million in free value to news publishers in its first defense of a decision to pull payments to the media.
In a blog post published late on Wednesday, Meta's local policy team said it was not the job of major technology firms to fix the news industry's structural woes, adding that it was wrong to say that Facebook was stealing news content. According to a report in the Financial Review, the tech giant says it sent 2.3 billion links to publishers in 2023, or 90 for every Australian, valuing each click at 5 cents to reach the $150 million in free distribution value. Meta earlier this month said it would pull out of a $70 million deal signed with different publishers in 2021 after the government put in place legislation that would have otherwise forced them to pay to use news content.
Story number 4, this could potentially be quite big, Sean. The owner of Optus, Singtel, is in advanced discussions to sell Australia's number 2 telco business, or perhaps part of it, to private equity group Brookfield in a deal expected to value the business at $16 billion.
Media is reporting a deal is on the table, though yesterday Singtel said a deal wasn't imminent. However, a strategic review is definitely underway. Optus is looking for a new CEO following the data leak last year, and Singtel says it is committed to improving the Optus network. The Financial Review is reporting that the talks could be about Brookfield acquiring a significant non-majority stake, and it would help with the turnaround of the company. Now, Toronto-based Brookfield has a bit of a track record in the region in telcos. It bought a near 50% stake in Vodafone New Zealand, helped restructure it, left 4 years later, made a decent profit along the way.
Last one, story number 5. The companies that own Tinder and Bumble were share market darlings a decade ago, but an inability to convince younger people to pay for subscriptions has really hurt the companies.
Yeah, so Tinder's owner is a crowd called Match Group. So Match Group and Bumble make up most of the industry by market share, and they've lost about $40 billion in market value since 2021, according to a report in the New York Times. The companies are now laying off workers and reporting lackluster revenue growth. The reason younger people aren't using dating apps, platforms like Snapchat and TikTok are helping people make connections. They don't need the dating apps. Match Group and Bumble make most of their money via subscriptions. If you subscribe, you unlock different features like unlimited swipes and the ability to see who has swiped on you. According to Pew Research, about 30% of adults and half of the cohort under 30 years of age use dating apps, but only about a third of those people actually pay. Also, dating apps, particularly Tinder, were prime time for millennials, the largest generation, but they're getting married. They're not using the apps anymore, and Gen Zers just aren't as interested, Michael.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 15th of March, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. If 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.